Hi there. I wanted to talk about a new light bulb I saw at Home Depot the other day, and I had to pick them up. And LED light bulbs. These are them, made by GE, and 10 watts, claimed 60 watt replacement, 760 lumens. That's not too bad. But the interesting thing that caught my attention was the shape. Now notice this box. It's pretty skinny and has 3 light bulbs in here. One is already in use upstairs, but there are 2 more. The price was $10 for this pack, so $3.33 a pop. And there's a little bit of a picture here on the side that shows how it looks, and I was like, oh, that's very interesting. It's a typical Edison E26 base, which is common. These are for use in the United States, so they are 120 volts. Now, typical low-cost bulb warranty, they say, I don't know, let's make a claim here on how long these will last. 13 years, yeah! But when you look at the details, 3 years, guaranteed to last 3 years, based on the rated life of 3 hours per day at 120 volts. So these really only have a 3-year warranty, and at 3 hours per day. So they are not designed to last very long. If bulb does not last for 3 years, based on 3 hours a day, 7 days per week, return the bulb, proof of purchase, and your name, address, blah, 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 and they'll send you a new bulb. And I mean, the funny thing is, how exactly would they know that you used it more or less? So they wouldn't. So you could essentially use it until it broke and send it back. But anyhow, they are saying it will last 13.7 years. But yeah, that's dubious. It probably would if you keep it in a nice ventilated enclosure. But even then. Okay, so anyways, let's just take a look at the bulbs. So very interesting shape. It says on here 10 watts, 150 milliamps, 760 lumens, made in China, of course. Do they list the color temperature? They don't. But I tested this out, and they produce a pretty pleasing, probably 2800 Kelvin. Typical, basically soft white LEDs. Actually, the performance is actually quite good. I mean, I don't have fancy test equipment to measure the output pattern, whatnot. As you can see, the diffuser is interesting here. But, you know, what really caught my attention actually is I recently damaged my refrigerator light bulb. It's an older fridge from the probably early 90s. And it needs an appliance bulb, which is like an A-shaped bulb, but a small version. And it had a 60 watt in there, and I broke it. I mean, I didn't smash it, but it, you know, I ruined the filament. And what caught my attention was that this is such a skinny bulb. As you can see, it's hardly bigger than the base here. This would work. So sure enough, I put it in the fridge. Unfortunately, the socket on my fridge basically has a little bit of a lip on it, and it was preventing this from going in. But it was nothing that the Dremel couldn't fix. So I used the Dremel and cut the socket edge away, just the little bit of a lip, and then this bulb went in there perfectly. And I have to say, not only is it instant on, but it's much brighter than a 60 watt standard A-shaped bulb that was in there. So hey, win. Not to mention the fridge is not going to be using the bulb very much, and of course it's nice and cool in there, so there's absolutely no chance of the electronics overheating. Yeah, so I was pretty pleased. But anyways, I ended up with 3 more of these, and here, just to show you guys a little bit of a comparison. Oh, one side note, non-dimmable. So obviously this is using a very cheap set of electronics inside that can't handle dimming. So keep that in mind if you are buying these. Anyhow, I just wanted to show you a little bit of comparison to other bulb types so you could get a feel for that. Here is a standard 40 watt incandescent US 120 volt bulb. So height wise, I'd say the new GE is a little taller, but clearly there's a big difference in you know, the width of the bulb. Of course, they're both round, so that gives you a very clear idea. this will not work, this GE bulb, where you need a lampshade that will clip on the bulb. So keep that in mind. But that's pretty interesting. Another bulb is one of my favorite LED bulbs. This is the IKEA Ladder. I don't know, this is actually only a 40 watt bulb. Let me see what the actual wattage is. Wow, it's not written on here. Here we go, 2700 Kelvin, 82 milliamps, 8.6 watts. So I think IKEA is saying these are equivalent of 40 watt, and they're definitely not as bright as a 60 watt equivalent. But I do have to say they're my favorite because I love the clear envelope. But better yet, you can just take this clear envelope off pretty easily. Let's try. I think I need to wear rubber gloves to make it happen. Oh, there we go. So that comes off, and it doesn't break. It sounded like it might have broke. Sometimes it breaks a few of the clips in there, but it usually goes back on. But the best thing is this diffuser, which is now skewed because I just snapped it off. This comes off with a little bit of force. There we go. That is also clipped on. I might have just broken it though. No, that one is, okay, no. One of the 4 is busted. So this could go back on. This diffuser, now with this off, you could see the LED emitters, and when you put this back on, let me just line it up here. Oh, I did a good amount of damage to this. Let's see, this goes like this. There we go. Okay, so this is back together. It's pretty solid as well. Now, when you run this, it is so bright. Obviously, this is sort of turned into a down firing bulb now because what this diffuser did is it would shoot the light out and down. You know, it kind of give it that A-shaped pattern. Well, clearly you can see with this bulb sideways now, all the light this way, and there isn't going to be any coming down here at all. But it's no problem. Say you, let's readjust the camera here. You put it into a light fixture like this, and you don't need the light to come out of the sides here. You just need it to shoot down at your desk. Let's put that in there like this. And now it's really bright. It's actually brighter than a 60 watt equivalent bulb. I mean, it's impossible to tell in the camera here. But let me just tell you, I'm using these all over my house this way because I got these IKEA bulbs on sale for, I think they're normally $5 each, and they were having a 50% off sale, so they were $2.50, and I bought a bunch. But, you know, now, see if the camera can adjust here. Oh, it's not adjusting really. But you can see, you know, the little individual chips, and they are bright. And without that diffuser on there, you got a ton of light coming out of there. So in a lamp like this, it's brighter than a regular 60 watt equivalent, and this thing only uses 8.6 watts. I think I measured at 8. So it's even more efficient. You definitely see how this has a diffuse pattern in it, so this reduces the efficiency. Plus it probably heats the LED chips up a little more, although that might be negligible. But anyways, the IKEA bulb's pretty good. The emitter array there is on a metallicized circuit board, and it's attached to the metal base with 2 screws, and it has connectors, it has a little connector in the middle, and there's heatsink compound as well to transmit the heat down to this kind of a metal. I'm not sure if this is metal. There's metal inside. This definitely feels metal as well, and there's a good heft to this as well. Anyways, I like these bulbs, and that's the little trick on how to take the emitter out, the diffuser, and turn these into amazing desk lights or light fixtures. Like I have one in my bathroom, and it shines down onto the sink area. It's really, really bright. Excellent bulbs. Anyhow, so just as a comparison, yeah, you can see the IKEA bulb is definitely a little smaller than an A-shaped incandescent, just a little. It's not a huge difference. These still work with clip-on lampshades, which is nice. And then the other cheap bulb to compare to is the Philips Slim Style. These were also only $3 each at Home Depot this weekend for the 60 watts. I've had this one for a while now. I use it in this desk lamp right here, actually. As you can see sideways, the Slim Style is a little slimmer. Height-wise, it's the same. just about, no, yeah, it's about identical, but clearly the width is very different. I don't know which is going to be more reliable. This is built down to a cost. You can find teardowns all over YouTube of this one. This thing gets pretty hot in this light here, and because it's mounted like this, so the heat kind of goes up here. Although this lamp has vents in it, so it's not like this is an enclosed fixture. But these get hot. They have the same warranty as these GE bulbs, so they're not destined to last a long time. And the one thing I don't like about these is when you have it in some light fixtures, they actually, I can't. You really don't hear it, but it makes like cracking noises, like as if the plastic case, which is sort of glued together, it sort of snaps and cracks and snap, crackle, and pop a little bit. Just as a side note, these are 10.5 watts, 2700K, 98 milliamps, and it does not print the lumens. If I recall, these were 800 lumens claimed, and these are 260, and these are 10 watts, 150 milliamps. 150. This is 98, so that's quite odd. Don't really get the difference there. 120 volts, 120 volts. Odd. Yeah, 150 milliamps times 120 volts. That's more than 10 watts. So I'm not quite sure what's going on there. I need to measure this, I guess. I'll do that and I'll put that in the comments. Anyhow, so yeah, this is pretty good. And let's just see if I can get the top off. Oh man. Definitely glued in there. Really, really tight. I'm sorry, I can't. It's actually, the plastic's a little bit deformed. You might not be able to see. It's a little bent. Like it doesn't look like it's glued actually. It just looks like it's friction fit, but it's jammed in there super tight. Let's try again. Aha! Oh, and that didn't even break. There we go. All right, so that's the construction technique. Interesting. Oop, heatsink. All right, so 3 clips. Get a little bent there. And a base. Okay, what's interesting here, metallicized circuit board. It's obviously screwed in on the other side, so I guess the way this is assembled, you can see these look like the bottoms of screws, but it looks like the screw head's on the other side of the board. Or are they rivets? It's really hard to tell. But anyways, as you can see, there's a connector here, so this is clearly assembled, you know, in a modular fashion. And then only 7 emitters. Wow. 7 emitters, and if we compare that to the IKEA bulb, which has basically 12 emitters for less wattage. So I don't really know about longevity wise, but definitely seems, let's see, is this goopy? Oh no. Whatever this, it's more like a glue. Oh, so that's actually, they goop that into the sockets where these prongs go, so it kind of holds the plastic on. But that's interesting. But at least it's metal. But this is definitely plastic, the base. Let's just see if we can scratch the paint on here a little bit. Yeah, so that's plastic too. So the IKEA bulbs are definitely plastic, but so is this. It's kind of a, yeah, that just feels like a plastic. This actually feels like a bit more like a ceramic-y plastic. Like maybe it has something mixed inside there. Anyhow, so interesting construction there. Let me see if I can read any of the writing on here. Let me get the magnifying light out. Oh, it's just LB-AI-370, 2014, 12/26. So the date on here is December 26th, 2014. Someone was working over Christmas. And yeah, these are definitely rivets. So actually these attachment things here are rivets. So this is riveted on That's rude. Why even make a connector if you're just gonna rivet it on? You might as well just, you know, put a little blob of solder or something there. But yeah, 7 emitters. LEDs appear to be 2 chips each. Okay, so from what I can tell when I look through the magnifying glass, each of these has 2 chips on it. So that makes 14. And like for instance, the IKEA one. Oh, the IKEA one is also 2 chips per. So anyhow, that's interesting. So cheaply made. Let's just give this a test in my lamp here. Let's give this a run. Make sure the power is off. Hope I don't shock myself. Nope. So interesting. You see there's like a weird pattern that it's almost like a flower. So that's really weird, but those are bright. And it's not safe, obviously. I have no idea if that's an isolated power supply. I'm sure it is not. So without this cover on here, you could touch that and you could potentially get electrocuted. So not a good idea to run it this way, but it's very bright. Of course, without that diffuser, you're increasing the efficiency, but I would say not recommended. Not recommend running it that way. Too bad this isn't clear. If this were clear, you would actually definitely get some more efficiency out of it, kind of like I do with these IKEA bulbs. But wow. So also what's interesting, construction technique, the connector is very different on here. Yeah, so anyhow, I've rambled on quite a bit, but just interesting. Here's the weird thing. You saw how long I just ran this for. I mean, it was hardly any time at all. This is already quite warm. I wouldn't say it's hot, but it's warm. I had this in there, in this lamp here, maybe for an hour, and I couldn't touch this. I could not touch it to unscrew it. Even the E26 base was extremely hot. The entire assembly was burning hot. So this clearly runs pretty warm. I don't know if that's the LEDs themselves, you know, like this is heat dissipation going on. Yeah, this actually board is warm too. So I guess it's dissipating heat, but that's what it's designed to do. This shiny plastic is not gonna radiate a lot of heat, so those electronics in there are going to burn up. But hey, I guess $3.33, and you are only using 10 watts for quite a lot of light. Yes, this may not last very long, but even if it lasts 2 or 3 times longer than incandescent, I guess you're still at the same cost for the bulb as an incandescent, although maybe not, because they were like 20 cents each. But you know, you're saving electricity, so you're saving yourself money there. Yeah, this white goop, it's kind of soft and rubbery, but that's what was holding this in. Let's see if I can push this back together. There we go. And it's good, solid. Let's just give it a whirl in the lamp again here. Just curious how the light looks different, just from my memory at least. It's not a very scientific test at all. Wow, if I could screw this in correctly. There we go. Yeah. Obviously, it's a much more diffuse pattern there. You know, the light is pretty nice. It sort of shines pretty evenly there. I did try this in a regular lamp upstairs, and I did not see any strange patterns on the lampshade, which you can get with some of these clearer ones. I don't remember the IKEA one has any weird patterns with this on there, but I have some GE bulbs. They are Philips Hue, or you know, the Zigbee controllable bulbs. They have a clear kind of envelope and a sort of a similar diffuser, and they do pass weird light patterns onto things, but I don't mind because this is very diffuse and kind of frosted. The ones on the GEs are very clear, and they produce really bright light for the amount of power they take. They also are very efficient. But this bulb, on the other hand, not so great. And yeah, that's pretty warm. Pretty warm. I mean, it's only been on for a few minutes. This is warm. This is not. when I tested, the entire thing got burning hot. Anyhow, interesting bulb, perfect for fridges. I say if you got a fridge with a E26 base, use one of these bulbs in there. It's perfect. And I guess, you know, 333, can't go too wrong. But the heat's an issue. These get really hot too, though. I mean, all LED bulbs do. These get pretty hot. So you know what? I guess that's just nature of the beast, and we'll just hope that they're using 105-degree capacitors in there, because those electrolytics, they will fry. All right, thanks. That's the GE Bright Stik, super cheap, built down to a cost bulbs. You know, I don't know. If I had to pick between these and these Philips, which are currently $3, and save myself 33 cents, that's a toss-up. These Philips produce some strange light patterns when you put them in a lamp-shaded lamp. I'm just screening into my light here. To the naked eye, the brightness seems about the same. And, you know, the only thing about the Philips that I think might be better is the LEDs are sort of further apart. Can you see it all? It's just this camera. Basically, they're in the edge. There's a circuit board that's in the entire lamp, and the lights are all around the edge here. So maybe that helps dissipate heat better. I don't know. I bet you if I drilled some holes in the plastic and let some air flow through the case, that would probably actually help last longer. But, you know, that's not really recommended. Anyways, I don't know what I would buy. I guess it would be a toss-up to whichever is in stock. Although they force you to buy 3 of these, and that's kind of a downer. But it is kind of cool that you can get 3 LED bulbs that are bright for 10 bucks. Remember, it wasn't that long ago, 10 bucks got you 1 bulb. And I have some of those bulbs here. Unfortunately, don't really use them anymore because I don't like the light color on them. Here's one of them right here. This is the Cree, which were the first ones that got reasonably priced. This is an 800 lumen one. They are relatively efficient, if I recall. 9.5 watts for 800 lumens. So not quite 100 watts per lumen, but you know, it's actually a bit more efficient than these other ones. And this actually has a heat sink, so there's a good chance this bulb will last far longer. Although the one thing I don't like about the Crees is the color of the light is not that good. I don't remember if these are dimmable either. They might be dimmable. I think they are dimmable, but they produce a kind of greenish color white that's a little displeasing. I'd say I kind of took them out of service out of any of my primary lamps. They're sort of stuck in spots that I don't really care as much. But yeah, this was one of the first bulbs at Home Depot that started becoming pretty inexpensive. But now you got stuff like this in this Philips one that's in here, in the slim style one, and they produce pretty nice color light. At least the color is pleasing. And this IKEA to me is fantastic. The color is wonderful, especially with the with the diffuser missing. This thing is bright, and I'd say this produces easily quite a bit more light than these do, and of course it's using less power, so I'm down with that. And these are dimmable, and they have a very nice smooth dim, and I have them in some fixtures in my bedroom, and there's absolutely